A very good morning to you. Welcome to Motivation Monday, where we bring you challenging conversations and inspiring stories. Where are you watching us from? Where are you listening to us from? Where are you tuned in from? Would love to hear from you. 20316 is our SMS line. 0786316316 is our WhatsApp line. Do you know that we are spread throughout the country? Yes, wherever you are, you can be able to access us through our various frequencies. If you're in Nairobi, our frequency is 103.9 FM, Nyeri 87.9 FM, Mombasa 97.9 FM, Nakuru 102.1 FM, Meru 107.7 FM, and Kisumu 96.5 FM. In case you're wondering, I am not in any of those places, neither its environments. Don't worry, because you can download the Family Media app for free, both on Apple Store and Play Store, and you can access all of our programs wherever it is that you are. Now, this being Motivation Monday, where we bring you challenging conversations and inspiring stories, today we bring you a rather challenging conversation. We are asking the question, is it family empowerment or is it black tax? Yes, I know perhaps you have heard that phrase, black tax. This desire and burden, sometimes as people have called it, for those that have advanced just a bit in terms of economically, to be able to pull others also alongside with them. And there are different thoughts about this matter. And that is the conversation that we will be having. Are we really empowering our family members? Or, in a sense, are we paying, as some have called it, black tax? And also, this is an important conversation because we know where our economy is at. I know many of us are struggling. The cost of living has gone high. Incomes have gone down. There are, threats and all these voices about possible things that might come our way that may reduce incomes even further. How are we to process the responsibilities that we still have when it comes to our families? That is the conversation that we'll be having, and our guest today is somebody that has lived the reality of empowering his family. Or should we say, paying the black tax? Well, we will find out. Please help me welcome Mr. Simon Turere, who is the program manager at ILRI. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, what an honor and a privilege to have you join us today. So just before we get into the nitty-gritty of our conversation today, just help us appreciate who you are, and then we move on from there.
All right. Thank you very much for hosting me this morning. My name is Simon Turere. I'm married to Damaris, and we have 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls.
Ah, perfect balance.
Yeah, and Monday to Friday, I work at International Livestock Research Institute as a program manager.
Okay.
So I manage a number of projects, research projects. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Somebody has said that you better understand a man or a woman, for that matter, by appreciating where they are coming from. So help us appreciate a bit of your background, some of your upbringing, which I think will influence us understanding the conversation we are having today.
Oh, yeah. So I was born in a village in Maasai Land, in Narok.
Yeah.
As a fourth born to my mom, but a fifth born to my dad.
Okay.
In that I mean that my dad had more than 1 wife. So my mom's are 3.
Yeah.
So my late dad had 3 wives, and so I was 5th to him, but 4th to my mom.
Yeah.
But we are one big family that God has helped to just stay together and love one another. We are just brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I grew up as a young Maasai boy. The things that Maasai cared about that time is really to be a herdsman, to grow up herding livestock. And it took some time before I went to school. So I was taken to school with my brother, whom we are age mates actually.
Okay.
When I say age mates, I mean is from my stepmom.
Okay.
So we were taken to school the same day, when we were fully grown boys,
Yeah.
like we remember that day, we remember every bit of it,
Yeah.
even what we were wearing.
Yeah.
And we were taken to school and as the first in the family.
Wow. As the
Yeah.
first in the family. And
Yes.
you're a fourth born in your mom, you're a fifth
Yes.
born.
Yeah,
And yet you were the
the
first.
first to go to school.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so we grew up in that village in primary school. When you are not in school, you are herding livestock. And that's how things began.
Yeah.
That's how things began. And God really helped us to love education.
Yeah.
Immediately we joined, like the first day. I remember that first day I joined, we were given some, the teacher drew some images on the board and told us, because I want these new boys just to draw what I've drawn. And what that teacher said that day motivated me the rest of my education journey.
Yeah.
Because she asked me, have you ever been in class? And I was like, no, this is my first day. And she showed to the rest of the class, just see what someone who has come to class the first day has done.
Yeah.
And from that day onwards, I was the top of the class, and actually throughout primary school.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Glad to hear. And then, of course, progressed, I believe, high school, post-high school, to a career now in project management and specifically as a program manager at ILRI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So after primary school, I passed very well. By the grace of God, I just managed to get good marks that time.
Yeah.
And got to a national school. So I was the first in our district. That time we used to call districts. So I was the first in the district, and I got to a national school, which actually became something that has never happened in my village.
Yeah.
And so in high school, I got some exposure. Sorry. I got some exposure now to see the rest of Kenya. What I knew is our village, our village and the way of doing things, and I've always known that our village is the best and we have everything in place. But when I went to high school, and it was actually the high school of my dreams. I met so many good people from different places, and I got amazed. Although for like the first year, I thought I was actually dreaming that I was in that school.
Yeah.
And to the point of actually pinching myself, is this for real or is it a dream?
Yeah.
Then from there, I also got a good grade, went to the University of Nairobi, and graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce. And then after a few years, I also went for a master's.
Yeah.
And then after my bachelor's, I got a job. And while I was in school, in campus, I was doing Bachelor of Commerce. But I kept asking myself, where does this apply in what I want to do? Because my desire has always been, how can I support people? And every time I look back and remember people in my family and in my village, I don't see anything else really to pursue better than that, to see how to empower them.
Yeah.
And so I kept asking myself, this course I'm doing, how does it come in to help?
Yeah.
To help me support.
Yes.
And it became a prayer item. Sometimes we would meet in campus, discuss, and ask each other, so what do you want to do when you finish from here? Mine was very clear. And so I kept saying, whatever I'm doing here, I pray that it will have an impact to what I desire, doing, and that is to support people from back home.
Yeah.
And so I got my first job right in the village in Narok town, but now that was taking me to the villages.
Yeah.
To the villages deep in Narok town. And then my second job took me like to a wider area, because now I also started going to Kajiado and many other places. That job is like I was going to Kenya, all over Kenya, all different places of Kenya. And it has just become a gradual kind of growth. Yeah. And when I look back, I just appreciate that. And I was telling my friends just the other day, I wonder how God just amazed me. He answered that prayer so perfectly that I look back, what I desired, that the course I'm doing should not be a waste. Yeah. But again, it should boost me to do what I want to do.
Which is to support people back home. Yes. I think that's an interesting desire, because most of us, that is not what we are thinking. We are thinking, I mean, if I talk for myself, at least when I was choosing a course, when I was joining the university, I wanted a course that earns the highest. Yeah. What will give me the most money? Yeah. And so it's interesting that your desire from the very onset, was to support people back home. Yeah. Now, you finished campus, now you're working. Yes. And like you've rightfully said, there are many fasts that happened for you. Like in your village, there are many things that you did that were a fast for the village. Yeah. Where does this leave you? Because if we just talk about one aspect of this, which is, socioeconomically, now you're slightly more advanced than, say, your peers. Did you start feeling pressure? Because it seems like your life is advancing slightly ahead of your peers.
So what happens is that my village really supported me through education. And of course, like it will happen to each of us, you feel like you're so much indebted to the people who have supported you. Yeah. So people really came out to support because at some point there were some fundraisings for school fees in high school, and so many people supported me, including taking me to high school, and that actually I look back and say, how can I really support these people? How can I pay back? But later, I realized that you cannot really pay back to the same people, maybe directly. But if you continue the same support that you have received, like if you continue to the next people who need the support, that is actually what would be more ideal.
Oh, I like that. So for you, this is part of a whole narrative that you also received support. And when you talk about the village, this means beyond your family, that others came in and participated in your education. Oh, that's a brilliant thing to hear. Then what do you say, even as we just get into this conversation? Because sometimes I guess the reason why this conversation is a bit of a dicey one is because, now that I have started working, I am thinking of, sorry, myself. In fact, I think I saw a quote by someone, I won't mention who, he's a bit popular now, especially in the social media streets, and he said, my mom is saying that I don't receive her calls now. But when I didn't have anything, why wasn't she receiving my calls? And that becomes some sort of a narrative. So I think I appreciate that. But what do you say to those people, even, as we continue this conversation, who feel my money is mine, my life is mine, I will not jeopardize my comforts and my conveniences for the sake of others. What do you say to someone that thinks like that?
So when we began, you mentioned about, is it family empowerment or
is it black tax?
Black tax.
Yes.
The word black tax somehow sends some not so good impression to me when I look at family support or family empowerment. It is never black tax. But what happens is, if you neglect to empower the family, and then you'll have some issues later in the family that now becomes a must. It is no longer voluntary.
It is now a must.
It is now a must for you to come in to support. For example, if someone, for example, finds themselves in some hard situation, that as family members, you know, you just have to come and get into that situation. Now it becomes something that you're forced to do by circumstances, and then because it is not voluntary, it is circumstances that are forcing you to do it. I think that is where now you can say it is black tax. And you're paying it because you didn't prevent earlier by actually doing empowerment, which is voluntary. And what I believe is the resources that God has given us, they are not mine. Many times I've shared with my friends that sometimes I receive resources and I ask myself, this cannot be mine alone. I mean, what will I do with this? Or it will be very selfish of me to just, you know, squander. It's like squandering, you know, using it on myself. Is like squandering the opportunity that God has placed in my hands. So I see it as a stewardship kind of thing. Because God has placed you in this position and with these resources at this particular time. You look back, you see many in your family that do not have those resources, do not have those opportunities. And I see how to channel. I see how to channel to ensure that everyone is supported. Is supported also to grow and also to get access to these opportunities later in their life along the way.
Thank you. Now I want us to listen to a song and then come back to this conversation. When we come back, I want us to just talk about the balance that one must maintain between, for example, you said you have a wife and children. So how do you maintain that balance that you take care of your wife and children, but also not neglecting, you know, but then we'll talk about the cost, you know, to actually empowering. Unfortunately, as many have said, we all have that one black sheep. But really, are they a black sheep? Or could it be that perhaps we are the ones who are that one black sheep? These are rather heavy conversations, even as we imagine the dynamics of our families. And today we are talking about family empowerment or black tax. When we have a responsibility to support our family members, what do we do? This is the Motivation Monday, where we bring you challenging conversations and inspiring stories. We would love to hear from you. How do you process this kind of conversations? How do you call it? Do you call it family empowerment or do you call it black tax? 20316 is our SMS line. 0786316316 is our WhatsApp line. We would love to hear from you. Joining us for this conversation is Mr. Simon Turere. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Now, you helped us just get a brief of who you are, helped us appreciate that you yourself are a beneficiary of this kind of empowerment that we are talking about. And you said, then it is important that we continue. You know, the same way we have received, you know, we also continue the same. But now, how do we balance then? As a family man, for example, and feel free to give us examples of in what ways you've been able to empower, you know, whether family members or village mates, people back home. And how then do we balance so that our families are also not disenfranchised?
Balance is important. I must really thank my wife, Damaris, because we've walked this journey. We've walked this journey for the last 17 years since we we met, since we got married. And I think the first thing about the balance is looking for that balance together from the word go. Because for us, before we got married, we asked each other, what are you passionate about? And what do you want to see in the future?
Yeah.
And we shared each other's, passions and what we would want to see in the future. And I shared that for me, what I would want to see in future is our families. Now the families where we come from.
Yeah.
Not the family that the two of us are forming.
Yeah.
But really beyond that, are not where they are now. That they will actually change. And I remember setting some goals. And some goals, and we thought actually by a few years things will be very different.
Yes.
And we had things like Vision 2020. Vision 2020. Our Vision 2020 was to ensure that we've supported all our siblings through education to the level where ourselves had reached. Yeah.
Wow.
And so we set on a journey, and every one of us was clear that this is Vision 2020, and by the year 2020, we thought everyone in our family would be educated.
Yes.
Everyone is now a graduate.
Yes.
And of course and just to go back a little, while I was in the university, that's when I went back home. And told my brothers, who are now grown up, they were men.
Yeah.
They were men.
Yeah.
My younger brothers, and I just told them, not just from my mom, but I think now when I say brothers, you understand.
You are talking about all of your brothers, yes.
From my dad.
Yes.
So I told them, now, please go to school. So some of them went back to school. Actually, most of them, a few didn't. And they began from class 4 because
What? Oh, they'd never gone to
they had
school.
never gone to school, and a full-grown man comes to school and it's like, you go to class 4, we see how you will fare.
Yeah.
We'll try to help you because I think your age, you should even have completed, but let's begin from class 4. And they did well. They began from there and actually pursued their education, and a number of them are graduates now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like now in our family we have 3 more graduates apart from me.
Great.
And one who is just about to graduate, and a few others who have done diploma.
Yes.
So what happened is, that time when we were coming together as myself and my wife, there were already people that I was supporting myself through education. And that is one thing that I made clear, that this is not something for a short time. Let's give ourselves, because we got that was in 2007. 2007.
Yeah.
Let's give ourselves 13 years up to 2020.
Yes.
Just to see that these people have gone through education, not only in my family side, even from
her family as well.
So that was one of the things we set to do. Like it was our first mission, our first project when we got married. Our families, those in our families, our young brothers and sisters, we should support them through education. And so we set on the journey. It wasn't easy because we had to deny ourselves. We had to balance a lot of things. Now we were a couple, we also had our own needs, and so we needed to balance between sending the school fees for those in high school and also ensuring we are able to pay our rent, we are able to have food, and so on and so forth. And I must say, God really walked with us that journey. At some point we would review and say, wow, I think it's getting heavier.
Yeah.
Another one now is going to high school. Another one is going to college, and another one and another one. And friends would actually tell us, by the time these ones are done with school,
yeah,
you will be finished.
Yeah.
You'll have nothing of your own. But that didn't discourage us. So sometimes we would review, but we encouraged ourselves.
Yeah.
We can't leave it here. You know, we still have to because if we leave it here,
yeah,
there is nothing that we have achieved. So we continued, and after a few of them graduated and got jobs, you know, it now became like, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
when they would come and visit us in our house, you know, some friends will tell us, how do you feel? How do you feel now? You must be feeling very nice.
Yeah.
And we just thank God that now, even when we get together in the same families, it is no longer myself and my wife who are checking on what we need to, the needs for the family, the wider family.
Yeah.
But we have a few others.
Yeah.
Now we are a big team that needs to get together and say, okay, for me, I'll chip in this way, I'll chip in this way, I'll chip in this way. I'll support this younger one this way. And it started becoming lighter. Yeah. It started becoming lighter and fulfilling. Yeah. That you see the things we were doing were not in vain. Yeah. But let me mention something. Okay. That it is also not easy because it is not all family members that walk that journey. It is not all family members that walk that journey with you. A number of them get tired along the way. Yeah. And you know, a number of them feel might disappoint you in some ways, might drop in some ways, or just take a different route altogether. And when that first happened, the first time, we were really hurt, and we felt like, oh, now, do we just stop this thing? But again, God just helped us that, you see, whatever they have done, they are still family members. Yes. So the lighter thing to do, or the right thing to do, is just to forgive them. You will continue walking this journey with them, whether you like it or not. Yeah. They are part of your life, and they are part of your family. So we continued, and we saw fruits. We still see some are not cooperative as we would wish, and but we've encouraged ourselves. And we've continued working together. Yeah, and now we are not alone. We began. There are others that have come along. We began 2 of us. Now we are many because we have now our siblings and their spouses. Yeah. So now we are a big team. Yeah. And things have become a little lighter for us, and that really encourages us. Yeah. So Vision 2020 came. We looked back. Oh no, we are not where we thought we. Yeah. Our families are not where we thought they will be by now. Yeah. So it was hard because we were like, now we need to stop. And we need to continue. So we had some time just to discuss that and to see how to now focus on other projects, our own projects that we need to do. Yeah. But finally, we agreed, fine. It is true that there are those who are in high school. Where do you leave them? Do you leave them in high school? Yeah. Let's continue. And now let's not even give ourselves a Vision 2025. Yeah. Because I think that is what is also, let's support them until as long as God enables us to support them. Yeah, so it has been an interesting balance. Okay. Yeah. And now our children came. They also joined school. Yeah. Our firstborn is in high school. Our secondborn is in junior secondary school. The girls are in primary school.
Yeah.
And those needs, they also have the school fees that needs to be paid. And so what has helped us is to work on, the approach we use is not, let's take care of ourselves, and then what remains, we see who to help in the family. What we do is we bring everyone that needs to be supported.
Yeah.
We look at everyone as like we consider them part of our family.
Yeah.
So if we have 4 children, but there are 4 others or 5 others, we say we have 9.
Yes.
How do we balance the resources we have among these 9?
To cater for all this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the budgeting we do, the planning on when to pay for who is the same for all of them.
Yeah.
And God has worked with us. And again, God has provided the resources, you know. God has provided the resources that we need. There is no time that we have been, you know, they have been sent home because of school fees issues or lacking things that they should have in school. And so it has been quite interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. I think very encouraging.
Yeah.
The other thing that somebody perhaps may ask, then what do you do with family members who are entitled? Because from what you shared, this was a desire coming from you.
Yeah.
You desired to help, you desired to empower your family.
Yeah.
But one of the, pushback against this whole idea is that there are family members who feel entitled to your money. They feel you must support me, you must give me this.
Yeah.
Then what does one do, with such family members that feel entitled to your own resources?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a number of issues. One of them is what you've mentioned, entitlement. There is also the issue of dependency. We don't want to create dependency that people are always, depending on you. So there are many issues to handle. So the issue of entitlement, how we've been able to handle it is that if someone feels entitled, for us, we look at the need. We look at the need of this person. Is this person, do they need the help? If they need the help, we get that person and discuss about the need they have, so that it is not an issue of entitlement. We also are free to let them know that in the family we are supporting 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and because we've seen you have a need, you have a need, we'll chip in, but only as God enables, and we'll chip in at such a time. So one way that we've been able to deal with the issue of entitlement is if someone is, I need it now, but you assess this is not something urgent, you delay it until that time that is, it is actually needed. And also try to show that we do not just have resources that are lying, waiting for
somebody to
someone to come
and demand for them.
So it becomes clear that the resources we have are actually being utilized in many ways, and you now coming means we need to see how to. I hear you use a lot the word recalibrate.
Recalibrate.
We need to balance, do some other balancing to see how to incorporate that.
Okay.
But someone who is not needy, they are just entitled. We will not hate them, or we will not lock them out like it doesn't belong. We'll talk to them. If they understand, that's okay. If they don't, they will. Along the way. Along the way they will, because needs will always come. And this person will be supported in one way or another. If they were not supported that day, they were feeling entitled. Now, when they are really needing the support, you support them without them even coming for that entitlement. The issue of dependency, we also ensure that we don't overdo
The support.
The support. In terms of what you need is really where we stop.
Yeah. Oh, no more than that.
I mean, we don't give you a chance to even be doing things at ourselves.
You can't even.
I've denied, you know?
Yeah.
So, and so far that has worked so well because when we begin, of course, you see those issues, but as we go along, there is that understanding that starts to build, and God has helped us that way. There is that understanding that begins to build, and people now start realizing that I also need to see ways of chipping in, because this thing is bigger than me. It's not where someone comes as themselves. I want the support. But along the way, they realize, by the way, this is a bigger thing that I need to be part of.
Yeah, it's not just me.
It's not just me. So they start seeing that they need to do something. They don't need to depend on us. They need to start doing something that they'll also chip in.
So they also participate in
as
this
we go
big
along.
thing that is happening.
Yeah, and that's the point at which I told you that we now sit together as a bigger team to see who needs support, how we are going to go.
All right, I like that. Yes, and even the conversation that we're having today, nobody has said that it is easy. Nobody has said that it is easy to support family members. Nobody has said it is easy to take up those burdens. But as Mary has reminded us, we can't give up now. Well, this is Motivation Monday, where we bring you challenging conversations and inspiring stories. And today the conversation is family empowerment or black tax. That is the conversation that we're having. My name is Elijah Mokai, and our guest for today is Mr. Simon Turere, a program manager at ILRI. This is also a good time for me to remind you that we are able to continue bringing you programs like this by virtue of partnership with men and women like yourself. And so kindly, this is an urge to you that you consider being one of our partners. And so if you will desire to be one of our partners, kindly send an SMS message with the word partner to 20316, and somebody will get back to you. In the event that right now you have something that you feel you could give, it doesn't matter the amount, God is able to use that. Kindly feel free to do that through pay bill number 316, and for account, kindly write your phone number. But for now, let's get back to this conversation. Welcome back, Mr. Turere.
Thank you.
Wow, your life is an inspiring one. And I think many of us have much to learn. But what I would be interested in just hearing, because you had mentioned last when you were talking, how your friends would say, you know, if you continue this kind of support, eventually you'll have nothing of your own. Now, after years and years of supporting your family members, and you still continue to do that, would you say that you're poorer off compared to your peers just because you invested yourself to help your family members?
Yeah. Let me begin with a question that one of my classmates asked me. I think last year or last year, but one. So she asked me, looking at your life, what regrets do you have? When you look back, where you are now, and you just look back when we were in campus and until now, what are the things that you look back and say, this I regret, or I should not be where I am now? And I thought deeply. I just took a minute and just thought. But what came to my heart is thanksgiving to God. Yeah, so I just looked up and I was like, by the way, I have no regrets.
Wow. Wow.
And she was like, wow, what do you mean? I think where I am is where I should actually be. I am so happy with where I am now. And another friend and colleague asked me, Simon, I see so many people that in your home, in your house.
Yeah.
Like we always full house, and that gives me joy. When I get into my house and I find all seats occupied until there is no space, I feel so
And
nice.
these are not visitors that are leaving. These are people that are there to stay.
These are people that are there to stay.
Yeah.
And so this colleague asked me, now myself, I am alone. Right now, I'm actually alone. And I'm struggling with, and we earn the same salary.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. How do you manage to do this? I also could not explain.
Yeah.
But what came out is sometimes we may hold back and think that we want to hold back the resources and develop ourselves, and we give a deaf ear to anyone else who is from the family coming to need our support, yet we still don't get far. We find other things that those resources will somehow channel themselves to other things that may not really help at the long run. So we find ourselves still at par.
Yeah.
Still at par. And looking back, of course, many of my friends really appreciate how I've been, I've been supporting the family. And one thing that I've always seen is that I don't see whether this is a family member or not even a family member, but someone who needs help. I have never seen them as a burden.
Okay.
So that word burden,
yes,
is related to people doesn't cross my mind. So for me, I don't see them as a burden to carry. A load, a heavy load to carry, a burden to carry, another burden. What I see is an opportunity to serve.
Okay.
So when somebody approaches me needing help, my first thing is always to, in my heart, is to tell God, where did you see the help that I have for this person? I might not be able to answer that person immediately.
Yes.
But I already see here there is an opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
And I do it gladly with joy. Something else is people look at it as there will come a time of payback from the same people. So I'm supporting these people so that they can
pay back.
They support me later.
Yeah.
You will be very disappointed. You'll be very disappointed if you use that approach.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you support them. Let them go.
Yeah.
When you see them prospering, when you see them, supporting themselves and supporting others, that should be what we are looking forward to. Not them now because I supported them. I am looking at them.
Even me, I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. You supported me. I want to see you support me. No. When we use that approach, we will be disappointed. And I guess people viewing it as a burden, and as an opportunity, maybe I am giving my support now, so that later you return it. It will not work that way. So it is, you are supporting because you are the one who has the opportunity now. And let them continue, and also allow them to go their way and support themselves and support others. You asked also about the issue of are there things that we've held for so long, so we are not at par. So
whether when you look back, you would think that now your life is the poorer for it because you supported your family members.
Let me tell you. I'm so happy where we are now. I'm so happy with our life. Okay, there are investments that we needed to do, but I look back and I thank God. I'm happy that we didn't go that direction. I'm happy that we didn't do that investment, because later along the way, after some time, you look back and say we would have messed up. We really were messing up, and that now you are able to do something, maybe a similar investment, but in a more informed, are more strategic.
Yes.
In a way that is better, far much better than what would have happened if you did it earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, like that song that we heard from Mary Mary, nobody said that it will be easy.
Yeah.
And it's, we can listen to this conversation. We are all charged up and we want to begin.
Yeah.
What cost has it taken? What price have you paid?
Yeah.
For you to be able, to share your life and your resources with your family members and beyond?
Yeah. So there are many prices and costs in different aspects. There is a financial, of course, because you have to channel your finances in many. And I've had to talk to many schools. We have plans. Yeah. That please note, this is my plan.
Yes.
Don't disturb these children. We have a plan with you, and we have built a rapport with all the schools that where I have people that I support. Yeah. And then the cost of I mentioned earlier disappointment. That you have given yourself 100% to support someone, but they fall along the way, and and it becomes a bit disappointing. Yeah. Then there is the issue of entitlement, and people not seeing that really this is somebody is sacrificing something else, so that we are able to, and of course. Sometimes you are seen as you are not wise, because you will take someone in the family that everyone has given up on, that leave this one alone, leave this one alone. But this is the same person you take and talk to them and tell them, let's pursue this. There are many faults, and you lift them up, and you go along with them, and everyone is like, no, look at this one. You don't have something better to do with your resources. Yeah. And you work with this person because you're looking at the long term. People might be looking at the now, but for me, I always see this person can change and become a far much better person.
There's hope for them
in future. Yeah. So I don't give up. I don't give up on them. And sometimes we have had issues with the wider family members, like, no, you are not going to support. Yeah. You are not going to support him or her again. No. You're not going to support him or her. And so sometimes also those kind of differences come, where some people are like, you decided to support this one.
And we had said
you should not. You should not. Wow. Yet I even have a child myself that I would have given you instead. Yeah. But you are seeing who is more needy among.
You're looking at the need, as you said.
I'm looking at the need. Okay. Who is more needy among these people? Let me work with this one. Yeah. This person is still ours. He's our family member. Yeah. The state they are in, the best we can do is to see how to help this person
for the future, for the future ahead. I like that what you said. Yeah. For you, you're not just looking at the now, you're looking at the future. Yeah. Wow, Mr. Simon, what an inspiring story you have. I wish we had more time to go into the details of this, but I think just from the little you've shared, there's much more for us to ponder on, and perhaps to reconsider how we view this whole issue of family support, and to move from calling it black tax to family empowerment. Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, this is the end of our conversation for today. Definitely a conversation that has many nuances and directions that it could go, but it is our hope and prayer that this introduces a seed in your thought, so to speak, that then you can start pondering about and maybe reconsider your view on this particular matter. If you have a contrary opinion, we'll still love to hear from you. 20316 is our SMS line. 0786316316 is our WhatsApp line. Family empowerment or black tax? That was our conversation. I wonder how you answer that question after the conversation we have had today. This is goodbye from us, but kindly do not switch off, because after this, on TV we have Praise the Lord, and on radio, kindly join Wilfred for a celebration of music. See you next Monday.